Hey guys, it's Mike from the Guild of Guardians free-to-play video. We're on to day 45. I did decide to do back-to-back free-to-play videos because we opened gear tier 6 yesterday. So spoiler alert, if you didn't watch yesterday's video, we opened tier 6 gear. So today we're going to kind of roll through the account in the free-to-play fashion, get through crafting as well as guild stuff, do enlist and rush and all of that, and then we might try to press on a couple more spots in adventure mode because we did make quite a bit of progress, and I think some of it was a little bit easier, so we might have a few more levels to move forward in adventure mode, seeing how for the last, I want to say, probably 7 or 8 days, all we've been doing is accumulating resources. So yesterday we got to allocate them onto the champions and saw some pretty big gains, so that was pretty fun. But I do want to spend a little bit of time on gear and strategy and seeing how far along we can get that going. But starting out, what I'm going to go ahead and do is take a quick peek at our champions. I think we're going to start with Tuskrog because he is our main champion that we're working with on the account right now. So we're going to go ahead and jump in here. Because he has tier 5 boots that do match him and they're 15%, I'm probably going to start with the helmet and then move to the chest plate and then the weapon. So we're going to go through those 3 pieces and hopefully get him outfitted with tier 6 to replace those 3 pieces today. All epic unless we get lucky and get a legendary. So I'm going to go ahead and get into the crafting area and start working through that. I have accumulated a significant amount of these chests here to get materials for the stone, as well as the first tier version of that. So for the secondary materials in the forge, we have quite a few resources here to be able to get those. It's just a matter of getting those primary ones and getting them all leveled up to level 6. So I'm going to go ahead and do what I can in that space, and then I'll bring you back in to see where we landed. All right, so we'll bring you back in here. I did roll through quite a few of those chests, but we did get a lot of level 6 materials. So we should have enough to make 3 pieces here. So we're going to go over to the forge, kick over here. We're going to start with that helmet. So we have 12 and 13. So we should be able to make all 3 of these pieces. Hopefully one of them is legendary. So that one is not, but that's okay. We'll move on to the chest. And that one's not either. And the weapon. And unfortunately none of them are legendary, but we did get some crit rating on that weapon, so that is awesome. I always like to get crit rating, especially for damage dealers, but Tuskrog, being kind of a jack of all trades, does do quite a bit of damage, so having crit rate on him is going to be a pretty big benefit. So we're going to go on to him. We're going to go ahead and outfit that new gear, and then we can pull all of these guys off, or all the upgrade materials off, and upgrade the new gear. So we'll get that dialed in for him. So we're going to grab this piece here and attack and put that there. We're going to grab over here and get his new tier 6 helmet and the tier 6 on this guy here. Perfect. And then what we're going to do also, just to make sure that Palmera's got the best gear on her, because sometimes he might have been holding on to better gear than what she has. So if we upgrade here, it did actually swap out 2 of those pieces. So now we can go to those pieces that we got from taking off of her and get the upgrade materials off of those, but we just made her better as well. So that's kind of a big tip in order to get some extra gains there. But we do also need to pay attention to our overall power ranking, make sure we upgrade him up so that he is our top player again, so that Grizel's following him around. But as we move this gear up, it should move up pretty quickly. So from here, we're going to jump back out into the inventory, jump into our batch sacrifice here. We're going to get rid of some of these pieces that I've failed to get rid of for a while. We're not doing tier 5 anymore, so we'll get rid of the tier 5 and even the legendary pieces. We're going to get rid of all the tier 5 pieces because we do not need them anymore. So we're going to salvage that. We're going to get all those upgrade materials. They do not go nearly as far on tier 6. We still have the sphere and the Tuskrog's belt that we should probably get him outfitted with as well. But we'll jump back on over here and get into the gear. I typically lean towards defense on tanks as far as upgrading it first, and we'll probably take it up 3 levels. We should be able to get all of them up at least 3 levels. And then we'll go back to the helmet if we have enough to go more. 2, 3, yeah, so we actually have quite a few more materials, so hopefully we can get up to level 6. 3 more on that. Let's see if we can get here. 1, 2, and 3. We didn't quite get to 3, so we used 45. We're gonna go ahead and actually take that back. We're just gonna level it up 2, and that way we have the extra materials. It's only 2 gold pieces there, but I typically try not to utilize everything because it might be enough to upgrade a different piece of gear. In fact, I think what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna go, we're just gonna upgrade each of these one time, and that way we're getting a little better across the board. So we're at 4, 4, 6, and 6. We're at 734 power ranking, so we're back on top. We are gonna actually jump in here and take this piece and grab his belt, because on his belt we did get the ice shield, now absorbs damage equal to 300% of defense for 6 seconds, which I think will be a pretty big benefit as far as tanking up more damage across the board and just making sure that that damage isn't getting to your allies or to him. It's not kind of vague as far as what it's absorbing damage from, but we'll get that installed on him, and then that is at 18,000. So as we upgrade this piece, we need to hopefully get it higher than 18,000. So I'll click through these, get this maxed out or upgraded to a point where we're actually in a good spot, and then I'll bring you back in. All right, so we did get that upgraded all the way to level 40. We do need some of these cosmic stones in order to go further. And then, but we do have HP up to 22.5%, and the overall power ranking on this piece is 38,000, where the other one was 18. So we've made some pretty big gains there. We will go ahead and get these pieces upgraded to level 6 as we get materials. We might actually pick some of those up from running through Endless, because a lot of these rewards that are coming in are refreshing. So we're going to get quite a few right here. And that may be about it. We might 85. We'll probably get to these. We should get both of those, so we might be able to make a couple more upgrades to those pieces of gear, but it does take quite a bit of materials at this point, so it does slow down a little bit. But from there, we do still have some of these summoning materials, and I think now that we have those 3 pieces on Tuskrog, I think the next move is probably going to be to Palmera to get her to be as tanky as we can up in the front there, because she is a warrior. I always like it when this happens. So we'll probably work on her helmet and her chest plate, and none of her pieces match her, so we can probably replace the ones we want. On the boots, we do have her in attack boots, which is ideally a benefit if we can keep her alive with attack boots, but if we can start to utilize, or if she does get too squishy, we can move to defense or HP boots. But ideally, we could keep her in the attack boots as we move forward. But I think we'll definitely work on a helmet and a chest plate for her, and then go from there. Although we are waiting for that bag to cool down, or yeah, because I think we only have a few, here. So maybe we'll jump over and see what we can do, probably on Flicks. Look at her boots as well as her chest plate here, because this is where she gets her HP, and all of her heals are based off HP. So if we can step her HP up quite a bit, we would actually be able to increase her heals substantially. So maybe we'll try to get a pair of boots here and a chest plate, and hopefully get those HP boots to get on her to make that a little bit better. But seeing how that bag is not hot, we can actually utilize it. We're going to jump in there and then get the secondary materials from those other chests we still have in our inventory. All right, so bring you back in. We were able to get exactly 8 of each, so we'll be able to make each of those pieces. We want to make the HP chest plate for Flicks. Ideally it's legendary, that's okay. And then the boots. Now the boots we won't swap out unless they are HP boots, and these are defense. So we'll hold on to these, and we'll go ahead and fuse those into a legendary set of boots that hopefully have HP as a stat for her. But we do also are utilizing these on, who else are we running on this team? Somebody else has intelligence gear on them. Let's see here. On Grizel. So we could utilize the defense boots on Grizel if we wanted to do that in the meantime. I think, what would she have on here now? She actually has attack boots, which may or may not be a benefit there. But so we have those on the account that we can use. It might be worthwhile just to get these extra resources off these boots, get her into defense boots, level them up to level 3 or so, and make her a little more tanky, because ultimately we really want her just to cycle through Tuskrog's abilities more frequently. We don't necessarily need her to do a bunch of damage. So that is probably a benefit there. So let's go ahead and actually do that. We're going to put these guys on her. Then we'll go back to, those were attacks. We definitely don't want those boots on flicks. So we're going to go into our inventory and scrap those and salvage the pieces off of them, which is just that one piece. Okay, and we'll salvage that, hit OK. And then we're going to come back into Grizel and upgrade those boots to get her a little more durable in that space. So we're going to go probably at least level 3. And we might even do, I'm trying to think here, maybe level 4. Can we get to 5? We can get to 5. We're not going to make 6 though. We'll go to level 5. So that way we have a little more durability out of her with 20,000 extra defense we didn't have before. So that's pretty good. What do we got going on over here? Defense and Aquasphere. Let's go ahead. We're going to level this up as well, because we do have quite a few of these star stones, or whatever they're called, that we got from the endless cycle, the rewards for hitting 11th place in that. So we have quite a few. So we'll go bring this up to level 20. That's at the point where you have to use those other cosmic stones to upgrade it further. But we should be able to get another 5% or so out of defense on upgrading that. All right, so we did get that piece up to level 20, up to 19.5% defense, plus the extra defense on the boots. I think Grizel just got significantly more durable by doing that. So that's going to be a big win there. If we take a peek at, she's on level 35 here. These guys are decked out pretty well. We did want to actually go into here. So she's at 128,000 HP on that piece there. And if we move over here, it's down to 70, but we're going to be able to get some levels out of that. So just keep in mind the 128,000. We're going to put this on her now. Go back out. We're going to salvage that piece and upgrade that and see if we can beat 128,000. My guess is with all these upgrade material, we should be able to do it without a problem. But we'll find out. We'll see if this was a good move or not. Typically, when you move into the new gear set, if you can get to level 3 or 4, you're probably going to outperform where that gear set was previously. But it just kind of depends on how good of a piece of gear you have. Like this tier 5, if it matched her and it was 15%, it might be a little hard to replace it. But so we're going to go into here. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect. All right, we got all the way up to level 6 is good. And we're up to 176,000. So we just got 50,000 more experience by moving that. And we're not even to level 9. We're actually only on level 6. So that was a big win there. Her heals are going to come in with that extra amount of 50,000 factored into the percentage that she's healing the entire team. So that's a big win there. This guy here, get a little extra HP. Let's go ahead and level that up too. And we'll get that to level 20. And then I think that'll pretty much get us all dialed in. We got linear assault with defense. The crit rate's really what we're after here, but we could level this up and get her a little more defense, and he's looking pretty good there. So yeah, all in all, we'll get those two things dialed in, and then we'll jump into endless mode. All right, so we got Palmera's HP up, I think by another 3 or 4% there. And all that really does is it's going to afford us to utilize these attack boots longer. The more HP and defense we can get in the rest of her kit, we can get some more damage out of her on those boots. Same thing with Durizda. By getting this extra defense here, I mean, ideally this would be attack. But we really want this crit rate on the linear assault is really the benefit of this piece. But by getting defense here, we can hold on to these attack boots and she's going to be just as durable. Because she's in the back row, having attack on both wouldn't be a bad way to go. If we had it, I definitely would build her that way. But this isn't going to be a bad way to build her either with an extra 30% defense. She's just going to be able to tank up a little more damage. But I do feel like we've made some pretty good increases on each of the characters now, so we'll jump out and get into endless mode and see how we do. We are on to master now, which I believe is where we were farming before, so I'm only going to use one ticket just in case we do get to level 24. Then I'll have another ticket to use on legendary, but we'll see how we do on master and then go from there. All right, so we did get to room 24, but we're unable to beat it, so we are gonna play master again. That being said, Grizel went down super early, like in room 8 or something like that. So I'm not sure if she got hit with a gnarly crit or what happened. We did get those extra 80 pieces here, plus scrolls and some stuff. So we're gonna put these on our champs. I'm gonna take a close look at Grizel and just make sure that her kit or her gear is all correct and whatnot. I'm kind of a little bit taken back that she went down that early, because we actually made her tankier than she's been. She is on level 120. I mean, Flix is only on 122, so I feel like she should be better than that. So that was probably just very unfortunate that she went down that early. But we will allocate these resources. I think on Flix, we're trying to get her up to level 130 so that we can get some bigger heals. So we're gonna grab 4 levels by upgrading her, so that's gonna be huge. All right, so we are gonna go ahead and level up Grizel's chest plate here, get her a little more HP. We're pretty much we used every single resource we have to do that. We get an extra 10,000 HP there. We'll be replacing this really soon anyway with a tier 6 piece. But I do want to say the strategy. We ended up getting Grizel a new pair of boots and Tuskrog almost an entire new gear set. And that was in one day. Now I did stack up quite a few resources getting prepared for tier 6 gear in the inventory with those chests of materials for those secondary materials. But versus if we were to do that legendary, we would have gotten 1 piece of gear today. So I honestly feel like getting 4 pieces, get everybody outfitted with epic tier 6 gear, then go back and start worrying about making it fit them as well as getting it up to legendary. So we did get all these guys dialed in, so that's a couple more resources we could probably allocate. So I'll put those on the champs and we'll jump back into endless. All right, so we made it to the same room 24. We actually did a little better the first time. We squeaked into room 24 this time with just Tuskrog and Darizda, but we did get just as far. So we'll probably continue to farm here for a little while until we can beat that room and then try out Legendary and see how that goes. In worst case scenario, we should be able to at least get the first 2, those are some good rewards there. We should at least be able to get these first 2 chests in Legendary. Even if we can't get all the way to 24, which I would doubt. This 18 might be a little bit of a struggle, but we can at least get the first one. And we'll probably just use 1 key to do it to see how we're doing. So far, we're actually ranked 5th, which isn't too bad, considering I'm not buying any extra tickets on this account. I am trying to stack up my rubies, and we were really low for a while. We're up to 13,000 now, so we're in a much healthier spot there, so that's pretty cool. But from here, let's go ahead. I'm gonna jump back into adventure mode and see if we can find some progress there. So if we come back into Path of the Beast, yesterday we made super progress. We got through Mire of Truth all the way through the 3rd challenge, and we got through Scale Sanctuary all the way through the 3rd challenge, so now we're sweeping those dungeons. We weren't able to clear this one at 115, which was kind of surprising, so I'm going to give that another shot today and just see if we can get it done. We did beat a couple other levels that the recommended level was 115, and in this one we died in the very first room. So I was pretty surprised that we didn't get further than that, but we'll give this a shot and see if we can make some progress here. And if we die in the first room, I'll try some different things and I'll bring you in if it continues to be a challenge, but if not, I'll bring you in the last room, hopefully when we beat it. Yeah, so this room is just super challenging. I think it's because we don't have our abilities stacked up at all. I did do the commander increase where it gives us 300 points right out of the gate to get us into our ultimates, but when this guy does his knock up and stun, everybody just starts getting walloped. Like we lost Grizel there, and it doesn't matter what I try, it just seems like it's just not working. Even if I'm able to squeak through this level, getting through there with 3 people's probably not going to be enough to make progress past that. So This combination of enemies has just got our number, so we might need quite a few upgrades before we're able to progress in that space. But yesterday we did get through Cathedral and we opened up Forbidden Library, so we're going to jump in here and see if we can make some progress moving through the Forbidden Library. Alright, I'm going to bring you back in. We're in room 7 out of 10, but you can see we're starting to struggle quite a bit with our life here. I think we do have Flix's ability on the horizon, so hopefully that'll help us kind of get topped off. Some of these rooms are a little easier than others. You can actually make quite a bit of progress in health. I think in this room we actually came out ahead of where we started, so that's good. We did already use the Tree of Life. It's kind of in the middle in the first room, and then it goes, I think you get 2 of them in the third room, and it's right before the end. But we're on to room 8 here. Hopefully we can press on and get through this. Ideally we can get some heals going from Flix pretty early, although she's got a long ways to go. But there you go. So we're done. We're done with that. We're moving on to room 9. We got Well Rested is always a good one. We're going to go with that. Well Rested gets us 200 energy right out of the gate. So if we're close to our ultimates, it'll kind of top us off. And we've got a camp here, so we're going to get rested, which will do, it'll give us 30% energy and 30% health. So I think that's going to be the right move. The other thing you could do would be the commander, and then when you come in there, get that extra 300 energy to get you closer to your ultimate abilities. But I think with the 30% plus the healing, the right move there was to rest. So here we are in the 10th and final room. Those last couple rooms were pretty easy. We actually made some progress, so hopefully we've got enough to get through it. I'm going to hover on this pause button just in case we're close, but don't do it. Hopefully get Tuskrog in here doing some stuns here. We still have our damage dealers. We still have quite a few people to get through, though. It's not looking great. Man, this is going to be close. Come on, Tuskrog, get your ability. Oh, no. I think we're going to try a different formation. I don't think she's going to get through them both, and if she dies, then we can't restart. So we're going to try moving some folks around, see if we can get a better RNG situation from here. We'll move Tuskrog down here. Sometimes that's just all it takes, and then we'll go with that and see how that goes. But that was looking a little bit sketch. So hopefully we can get wrapped around to Tuskrog's ability where he can get some stuns out there and give us just a little extra time was all it would have taken for us to make that happen. So we're going to give this a shot. There we go. We got that extra stun there. Grizel, we still have full health. We're going to make it. We're going to get it done. Perfect. So that was we squeaked by. We squeaked by, find a little bit of progress there. All right, so I think that's about what we got on the free-to-play account. We'll call that good for the day. We might be able to squeak out another room, but that was pretty much a nail-biter by itself. We did make some great gains on the account, got 4 pieces of tier 6 gear on our champs. We're going to continue to press on utilizing that strategy of getting epic gear on them and then replacing it over time with legendary. So I think that we'll probably take a few days break on the free-to-play. I'll keep playing in the background. I always do. And I won't try to progress until we get a few things on the account that I think will make a difference. But I think we're probably at a standstill for at least a couple days here. But we do have some tier 6 gear to move through and some pretty big gains that can come from that. So I appreciate you tuning in today. Thank you so much for your time, and I look forward to seeing you next time.